in the relationship.
Hey, you know what? Fair enough.
Like just for 2 weeks.
Mine is always like art.
We are live, by the way.
Oh, we're live. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
As you speak.
we're picking up audio and everything.
Everything.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Slam Connection podcast. Today, I guess sponsored by.
Sponsored by that will be bleeped out.
Sponsored by
Inconspicuous pizza brand.
But yeah, we're just having a bit of a family dinner. My name is LaCroix Nixon, also
Blake
known as
Lemon.
Atlas. I am the founder and director of Slam Connection. I got my team with me. Well, can you introduce yourselves?
Oh, sure. I'm Brianna. I am the director of community engagement for Slam Connection, and I do poetry on the side.
I'm Daniel.
That's all you need to know. That's all you
He's
need
that
to know.
guy.
I do stuff you see and stuff you don't.
That sounds terrible. All right, listen. We're going to talk to y'all about some poetry stuff, but of course we got dinner. Sponsored by...
Pizza.
If no one goes first, then no one will.
Yeah, that's so true.
This is true. Well, what side do you get?
I'll take either or, but I really want this like big cheese slice, to be honest. This was not fair of them to do.
Slide in, I slide
Oh,
out.
look, there's one way to eat pizza.
All right, so today, I'm glad we're sitting around the table. Oh, we also have Achilles here.
Yeah.
The unofficial Slam
He's
Connection
gonna
mascot.
try to grab a slice.
We're
faster.
Come on now. I'm glad we're sitting around the table, eating pizza, chilling. I want to talk about today, what does it mean to like market yourself in the poetry space? Like we talk about especially like in the slam poetry context, we're always looking like people like, "Oh, how do I get out there? Like what does that mean? What does that look like?"
And for getting outside,
Sure, let's start there.
man, it looks like literally, and it sounds cliche, just doing it.
Talk about it.
Literally just doing it. I came back from deployment and was like, I want to do this slam poetry thing. I was on deployment watching all these button poets and all these different things, and I'm like, man, I've been watching slam poetry for years, and I want to just do it. And then I got back, and I just found a spot. I was at the gym, and then they was like, hey, come to this open mic. Went to the open mic. It was actually a qualifier for Verb Benders. Verb Benders is a nationally ranked team at the time.
This is true.
And now I'm here. You know what I'm saying? And
He's
I feel
here.
like it's just a matter of just getting outside. If you love to do a thing, get outside, and then you'll find people that also love to do the thing.
Yeah.
And the more of those people you find, you'll find people that are good at it. People that do it differently. And
True.
you end up in big spaces.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
The more spaces you find, through the more connections you make, because that was a lot of my experience. Was I just approached people, hey, I love your work, started chatting with them, and that's how I discovered most of the spaces that I've been in. Was they were telling me, go here, go here, go here, and I kept sliding through, and every time I slid through, I'd find a new space or find a new group. Just approaching people and not being afraid to strike up those conversations.
This is good pizza.
And sponsored by.
But on top of that, I think the biggest thing is that art is, especially this form of art, it's a rabbit hole. If you just stay on the surface, you're never really going to get what you're looking for out of it. For example, when I was first getting started with spoken word and like, not even slam, just doing poetry, I was desperately just looking for an open mic. I was at Liberty University when I started. They have one open mic on campus every month. And then at the time, it was just people going because they lost a bet. I'm so serious. People would go in there and they would do some wild stuff. Or it was all worship songs. I love God, but like, God, I love Jesus. Listen, I do, but come on, can we get some variety in here? And so me and like a small group of like my friends, a lot of my other friends were rappers, and they would get out there and they would start like just rapping, getting up on stage and doing the thing. And we were the only ones that were doing it. And even when I would get on stage, people didn't know how to react because they had never seen it before. One thing led to another. We started going to the open mics consistently to the point to where we were getting booked for shows from the open mic. Which just goes to show like the importance of having like a consistent like gathering place. So getting outside a lot of times, I think we miss the point of. I'm looking at Achilles over here. I think getting outside, like, we miss the point of, like, we're building community, but also, like, the best form of marketing and branding is boots on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Facts.
I mean, shout out to all the Instagram poets that just are on Instagram or on Facebook. But if you really want to get outside, you actually got to get outside.
And your community.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can be big on the. Imagine being big on the net, but the people in your city don't know you.
Say that again, please.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's poets that are like really big on Instagram, but people find out like you from here. I ain't never seen you before. You know what I'm saying? And that's a double-edged sword, though. You know what I'm saying? Like getting outside, like me being a prime example of somebody from Detroit. Detroit poets didn't know I was from Detroit until a certain point in time, but for me, I wasn't presently in the community at the time. Right. But it's like, if you are presently in the community and you want to bring out your community and help the art scene there, like, you got to get on the ground. Like, I had 3 open mics a week. You know what I'm saying? In 3 different cities.
Talk about that
Yeah,
grind. Can we talk about the grind?
Yes.
That grind.
Yes, I open mic regularly. And there's people out there, just as much as there's people out there that think I'm some famous poet because I went viral on Instagram, there's people that don't know me. There's people that see me at an open mic and think I'm just somebody who go up there and read every day. You know what I'm saying? There's been moments where I've had other people have to speak for me, like, no, but he's actually nationally ranked because I go up there and read some terrible poem I just wrote. But it's like,
talk about it.
It's being a member of the community. Support the open mics, man. I don't got to go up there and do a slam poem every time. I don't got to go up there and bring polished work every single time I go out there. Go out there and do the work. Go out there and show that you're a regular person too, so that way this community can support and it can feel as though there are the community with you, not they're the community looking at you like you're here with us.
Talk about it, man. Being amongst the people, not just
of them.
Come on.
Increase your gas budget.
That's a bar. That's a bar.
Wait.
I
don't talk about
was
that.
spending a lot of gas money getting established and jumping from city to city to city every week, multiple days a week.
Whenever I budget, I'll be like, all right, can I get to the slam? Can I get to 3 slams this month and do it? Will I have enough for open mics? If the answer is yes, I'm good. I don't care how much money I got. I'm chilling. And that's like timeless acts. I know I keep saying this, but that's been like a big thing in my head lately. It's like poetry has become one of those things that I don't care how much money I'm making. I don't care how long I'm doing it because it just feels timeless. Right? Like I lose track of time. I can't tell you how much money I've made off of poetry. I can't tell you how long or how many slams I've done, but I can tell you I love it. And I'll do it again. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? People don't have to tell me what the prize money is always nice. But you tell me that there's a slam.
That's all you have to say.
I'm pulling up.
That's all you have to say.
I'm pulling up.
And it's really like a love of the game, you know, a love of the sport, a love of the craft. Because I think, again, like we've said on previous podcasts, like eventually the slam, the open mic, the thing ends. And what really goes beyond just the event or that night or that thing is the community and the people that you connected with and like the experiences. Because like it's those moments that kind of define, you know, part of your network and part of like the people you're connected with. I was about to say, I know, I definitely know what that feels like to like pound the pavement with open mics. Sheesh. So out in Lynchburg, for those who don't know, I earned the name Atlas out in Lynchburg, Virginia. There was no slam team out there. There used to be the Listening Incorporated. They had a bunch of, think Slam Connection, but more youth based, and more slightly different focus, but very similar. Hello. I ain't got nothing for you, bro.
Oh no. Oh no, thank you. Hey, get down. Hey,
You know, watch out. I'm gonna get pizza.
get down.
Achilles is also a slam poet. He just doesn't
Thank
score
you.
high all the time.
Good boy.
Don't look at me like that. But okay. Lynchburg, Virginia, right? I had to get off campus to go to an open mic. Sure, campus activities, school activities, they had one open mic a month. I'm like, all right, when I was really in there, I was pounding the pavement. I was performing almost every weekend, almost every week, like just getting on a stage, just crafting, getting stronger, doing that, and did that for years, and like to the point to where people were like, bro, how'd you get here? I'm like, well, first off, I was in the trenches.
Right.
Right. Like a lot of people, they want to get on these big stages. They want to go to the places. They want to get on these, these major platforms. But they have not done any trench work.
Right.
They have not taken that time to hone their craft and get on stage and like sometimes put garbage in front of people. Because sometimes not everything you're writing is going to be a Pulitzer Prize winning thing. Not everything you're writing is going to be a 30. Not everything you're writing is going to be amazing. Sometimes you're going to put garbage out there. The point is that you got on stage and you practiced and you were in the weight room. Professionals have bad days.
That's facts.
So I think getting out there and getting on stage, trying stuff out. Sometimes the crowd just sits there and looks at me. Sometimes they are rocking, right? But I got out there. Most people stop at the crowd just kind of looked at me and I never really recovered.
Bar.
I would also say, in addition to being out in the community, don't neglect your social media in the interim, because that's honestly something that I struggle with.
Talk about that, yeah.
How many times do I have people come up to me after slam? Where can I see more of your work? I don't know. I'm usually directing them to like the Slam Connection channel, which has some of my pieces recorded, but I don't catalog a lot of my work on my social media, and I feel like that's a very good way to increase even your local community's knowledge of you, and it's also a nice time capsule, kind of seeing where you are posting and keeping your poetry on social media. I feel like is a really good way to track your progress as well, and yeah, that's a lesson for me, is like not neglect my social media just because I'm spending so much time in the community, talking with people in real life. I can't see the same people all the time, and so having that outlet for them to connect with me outside of it is helpful.
Yeah, I think because we practice at a performance playground, like we're not allowed to get on or off the stage without promoting yourself, right? So every time I hit an open mic or something, I'm always, my name is Daniel. Durag Daniel on the internet, just Daniel in real life. Don't call me Durag in person. People do that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I told you I was at Wegmans one day getting a pineapple, bro. And all I hear is, it's 11:45, like p.m. I'm tired. I went and grabbed
15 minutes till tomorrow.
You know what I'm saying? And I thought I was the only one in the grocery store. I'm checking out the pineapple. You don't scan the pineapple. You gotta weigh it. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of lopsided, so I'm trying to put it on there and take my hands out at the same time. And then all I hear is Durag Daniel. Luckily, I had a durag on. You know what I'm saying?
Like baseball card. Like
so I'm like,
Baseball.
I'm thinking somebody about to throw a Pokeball at me. I thought I was caught. But I look over, it's Mystique.
Oh, word.
Hilarious.
Shout out Mystique.
Shout
Shout out Mystique.
Shout out Mystique.
This is funny. But no, like I get on stage and hey, my name is Daniel, Durag Daniel on Instagram, DLOWRAG.Daniel. I'm the Director of Artist Development for Slam Connection. Slam Connection is also in my bio on Instagram. Actually, raise your hand if you have a phone. Okay, cool. Everybody pull your phones out right now. I literally wait. People pull their phone out. All right, follow.
He giving y'all game.
Tap that follow for me real quick on Slam Connection or on me. Or if I'm on my page, tap that follow button. Now, right above that follow button is a link to Slam Connection. Tap that one. I follow that too. All right, cool. Or I do the YouTube, but I only do one. I don't do all of them. I'll be like, okay, go to our YouTube channel real quick. Go ahead and hit subscribe, and then go ahead and hit the bell too.
Free game.
Free game.
Don't inundate people with plugs.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, I do that out the gate, and then I'm like, all right, cool, and I'm gonna do some poems, and I always, I go through like the entire. I'm the Director of Artist Development. I do this, do that, do this. Coming up on the 17th, we have our underground mic, and then we have our youth showcase on February 4th. February 1st.
In February, yeah.
In February, right. February 1st, and then February 15th is our showcase. We do have tickets for sale on Eventbrite, and if you want tickets, I have them on my person. If you want to see what kind of work we're doing, check out our Instagram, or listen to this poem I'm about to do. Boom. And I go right into the poem. Then when I close the poem, like I said, my name is Daniel, Director of Artist Development for Slam Connection. You love the work that I'm doing. I'm doing a lot of amazing work with Slam Connection. Follow us there. Follow me. Follow me to my car. I'll spit another poem. You know what I'm saying?
Just don't follow you home.
I mean, I'll spit a poem there too. I'm addicted, man. I'm an addict. I'm a fiend.
It shows up at your front desk. It's like, hey, My friends don't like to play hangman with me.
You know what I'm saying? For real.
I love it. I love it.
My
No matter where I'm
proudest, my proudest moment was I think it was a feature or something, and I had done pockets, and that was my last piece, and I was like, thanks, it has pockets. Speaking of pockets, if you pull your phone out of yours, and that's why I did my plug because I had forgotten to do it at the start of the set.
freestyle a plug.
So I thought of that, and yeah, I mean it's a fun way to kind of tie it in too, so it feels less like a plug and more like, by the way, follow me.
So what I'm picking up here is A, do the trench work.
Oh yeah.
B, rep your set. Wherever you're from, whatever city you're from, if you represent an organization, if you represent
Talk your stuff.
a talk about it. You know, I think it's so crazy how you see like these organizations that are doing amazing work, but nobody knows about them or follows them because they don't promote themselves. Right. Especially when it's art organizations, especially when it's like poetry organizations. It's just like, y'all got some of the greatest writers and activists of this decade.
Do it.
Give me some gravitas.
Man,
Give me something. You know, like
I hate a if you know scene.
talk
Hate
about
'em.
that.
Hate
Yeah.
an if you know scene, because if I don't know, then they don't get paid. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you need to know what's going on. Like so, like not only do you need to support the poets of your scene, help promote the poets in your scene. Promote your scene. Stop doing this whole, man. If you know it's this little spot around the way they do dope, you going to some of the best poets. Promote y'all stuff. Nah, we good. We just that's new school stuff. I'm like, yeah, what money?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Facts.
I was like, what, money's new school? That's older than us.
Listen. Promote the power of promotion.
Yes.
In the last year, we go to the last episode and look at everything the Slam Connection has done, event wise, right, and just stuff that we've done over the last year. I'd say about 90% of that has come from just promotion, right? Like just us putting ourselves out there, and somebody in the city of Williamsburg saying, "Oh, y'all do this? Oh, word! I've been trying to get this done. Y'all want to come over here?" For example, the underground. That whole reason that happened is because it was promoted. We've been promoting the open mic, and the open mic has been going crazy. Come to the open mic every first Friday of the month.
Friday.
It's free.
It's how much?
It's free.
Practically free.
It's free.
Actually free.
Cut.
Nice.
They were like free.
You tried to.
They were like
kill
free?
baby Jesus. Oh no.
Kill baby Jesus.
Not my nativity.
Even Jesus was like free.
Hey! I don't got no crumbs.
He's taking the opportunity. He's taking the opportunity of distraction.
Man, Jesus just came down and was like, "How much?"
He said free. No, that's crazy.
Alright. Should be safe now.
Bro, I don't got nothing for you. Open mic. Open mic is free.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah.
But on top of that, we've been promoting it and doing it consistently for, by the time, shout out Mel, shout out Bizarro's Deli. By the time they came around, we had been doing it for well over a year. Even with Column 15, shout out Column 15. Even with Column 15 taking a break to build the space out for us, right? Like, I'll never forget that. That's crazy. Build the space out. Listen, they built a space for us because we were promoting.
We got a stage.
We got a stage.
Yeah.
All right, but on top of that, we got a stage.
The
All right.
nostalgia of that old curtain though, with like the lights and the vines, that was different.
That's how we started.
That's
and you
true.
want to know how it got bigger? Because we promoted. All right, listen. So we promote. We get people in the door. People have a good time. Mel comes. Mel is the owner of Bizarro's Deli. Comes in and it's like, yo, I want this where I'm at. What do we got to do? Right? And now the Underground Slam happens every third Saturday, hosted by your friendly neighborhood Daniel. All right? It doesn't happen if you don't promote, if you don't get word out, if you don't really pound the pavement, if you're not in the trenches and you're not outside. Now, being virtual is cool if that's your only option. If you have the option to get outside, you got to get outside. If you really want to move forward in whatever your vision is. I bring all this to bring up. I say all that to say, A, Achilles. B,
He's got some opinions.
yeah, he also has some opinions. B, especially in the slam circles, a lot of things revolve around being on a slam team. Can y'all talk about like what was it like being on a team? Like from your perspective, what was it like to like jump into the zeitgeist that is slam poetry from the perspective of a team?
So it's interesting because I know there's a lot of people that don't quote unquote don't slam, quote unquote won't slam, because of they don't like the team, because they don't like the people, because they don't like this, or they don't like that.
Right.
I saw a post today on Facebook where somebody said that I'm sorry if you had a bad experience in church. That wasn't Jesus. That was the people.
Come on.
Right. And that's what I would say to the people who like don't slam or won't slam. It's like, I'm sorry you had a bad experience, but it wasn't poetry. It was the people. Right.
Come on.
And saying that to say that being on a slam team is just as much about the poetry as it is about the people. Like, we were all on a team together, and look at where we are now. Like, once you're on the team with somebody, it's like you family.
Right.
From that point forward.
It's true.
But from an artistic standpoint, I've never grown more as a writer than I have in team poetry. And I think that just comes from being in a room full of 4 or 5 of the best poets in your area, and seeing how they write, seeing how they think, and opening up the doors of your own mind of what's possible. 'Cause that's what slam poetry, that's what team slam poetry has done for me over the past 2-3 years.
Right.
Where it's like you go to these different places and you see what these teams come up with in different regions, and you're like, oh, I didn't even know you could do that kind of poem. I didn't even know it was a possibility to even do a museum poem from Detour. Or
That museum poem was crazy.
Oh,
or to
that's my
do
Roman Empire.
a marching poem from New Jeru. You know what I'm saying? Or even a back and forth 90s hip hop Shakespeare poem from
Eddie Figures, yeah.
what team was that?
That wasn't Eddie Figures, no.
No. That was Knoxville's team.
Yes.
Black Atticus.
Yeah.
What was their names though? I forgot the name of their team.
The Knoxville team.
The Knoxville team. They hosted Southern Fried this year.
Knoxville team.
Shameless plug.
Them ones.
Them. Yeah, but I remember their poem. You know what I'm saying? And it changed me. And it changed the way I view what poetry could be.
Right.
And I think being on a team is the only setting that provides you with that. Because when you do indie tournaments, you kind of like think, oh, that poet was just really good. They just beat me. Versus teams, it's like, wow, they came up with something creative. That's
Right.
crazy. How do you put 5 people on the stage at once and make it look like that? You know, and then we come up with poems like we have 1-800, we have Senses, we have Never Lacking, we have Picnic. You know what I'm saying? We have all these different poems that are different. You know what I'm saying? Are so different. So being on a slam team opens up your creativity for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. And I was really glad that I had that experience as early as I did in my slam poetry career, because my first ever slam was the Verbenders qualifier.
It's a common trend over here.
I literally went from first slam to, that was probably in September, to be on the team a couple months later with the Grand. That was that access to so much creativity completely changed who I am as a writer. Gave me a lot of confidence as well. The whole team kind of pushed me outside of my comfort zone in a lot of ways, and whether or not that piece changed the way that I don't care about how I'm viewed on stage anymore. So that has opened my, I don't need to go up on stage and be liked, so I can take a character on a lot more.
For those who don't know, whether or not was a piece about getting lynched.
Yeah.
And she was doing the lynching.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's a very base level. Yes.
That's a crazy way to break it.
Yeah,
that's the piece. Just to let y'all know.
Yes.
She was the one doing the lynching.
She was the.
That's for sure.
Yeah. I had the southern accent. I had the whole thing. Y'all love cookouts, right? But yeah, that completely changed my perspective on performance. So I am a lot more comfortable with how I handle my facial expressions. I don't need to go on stage and be pretty or be liked. I can just be a character. Really watching people pick apart their poems in front of me was a very enlightening experience. Like you said, really opened up the creativity. But it was also, as much as it was challenging in almost feeling challenging in a good way, right? Because I was trying to catch up to people who had a lot of experience under their belt already. So it was a good challenge to try to make sure I was on the same level. It was also very relieving compared to indie slam, in my opinion, because think of Shooter. The Shooter, we did night 3.
Night 3.
No, night 3.
Yeah.
I dropped it. Daniel picked it right up. So
Half a
I
second. Less than
less
that.
than it was entirely unnoticeable to anyone who didn't know the poem.
I was in the poem and I barely knew.
Yeah, he was in the poem.
I was like, oh wait.
I was like crying after, and he was like, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "I dropped the poem," and he's like, "Where?"
Facts.
But I dropped it a couple times,
Right.
and Daniel and G both picked it up flawlessly. So if I had dropped the poem and it was just me, that's it. Like I would have had to, and I froze. I couldn't remember my next line, so that would have been a pause and a go back, and it would have been a noticeable drop. Whereas having a team behind me, easy peasy.
Alright, we back.
But yeah, having the team to back me up and support me was very relieving and made it a lot less stressful. Because going to Southern Fried, that's insane, super scary, especially being so new to that. I had a lot of imposter syndrome. I had a lot I was going through. Y'all know this.
Right.
Wait, hold on. Can we slow down just for a second?
Yeah.
How do you get onto a team?
How do you get onto a
How do
team?
you get onto a
Like,
team?
cause I mean, now granted, cause I know different teams are different ways,
That's
but
a crazy question.
Yeah.
like, how do you?
The way we're all just sitting here in silence.
Okay.
How do you get on a team? Actually,
Crazy fast.
Let's just pretend I am a slam poet that wants to get on a slam team
Yeah,
because I've
let's
seen
pretend.
them do that. How do I do that? How do I slam team?
So you look for a qualifier,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
First thing you want to do is go
Traditional
onto the social medias. I was gonna say the internet, but we've
Promotion.
progressed. We've progressed, right?
Yep.
And you type in slam poetry qualifier near me, and then you'll see what teams pop up. Or what you can do, if you want to pick a specific team, go to the Southern Fried rankings and look at all of the teams that competed last year. And it'll show you the cities and be like, oh, that team, that's around the way.
For those who don't know, Southern Fried Poetry Slam
It's
is
the poetry slam.
the biggest regional poetry slam in the United States right now. It is basically nationals.
Nationals, yeah.
All right, some of the best poets in the world, some of the best poets to ever do it, go to Southern Fried. All right, last year was what, 32 teams?
32 teams and what, 111 indies? Something like that.
That's crazy work.
100.
Wait.
100.
Like everyone,
Diabolical.
Not
Aretha.
Oh,
not
poets.
right, like total, like
Total poets?
individual.
I think that might be
people.
accurate, yeah.
Still, it's
Yeah.
a whole festival that lasts
dark.
multiple days. 111 poets.
Like 111 individual people who are at the.
Nobody's winning.
Sorry.
Nobody's making
Let me
finals.
qualify. Not indie competitors.
So-
individual people.
So basically,
Off topic. If I win a slam with 111 poets, you can't tell me nothing.
nobody's
Just
winning
Battle
finals.
Royale of.
I'm the greatest.
No,
ever.
nobody's winning finals. That's just what's happening. All right.
How
but
long would that competition
Well,
be?
there's 20 ties.
facts.
20 people got a 30 and tied. So,
But yeah, okay. But yes, okay. So Southern Fried is a big deal. Go online, look at the teams that went on Southern Fried. How else do I become a slam team poet?
well, let's say you go on the internet and you find that there are no slam teams in your area, right? Hell, there's no slam team in my area. Whatever will I do? Well, you call up your friend that has a poem that you heard before. And then you have that friend call up another friend
Wait.
that has a poem and be like, hey, y'all, you know what we should do? Let's try to make a slam team, right? And then you put it out to the community. Hey, we're making a slam team. Does anybody else want to jump in? And then you'll get two randoms pop up like, oh, y'all do poems? I used to do poems back in the day. I want to do it with you. And now look at you. You got 5 people. You got a ragtag Teen Titans type team. And you pull up to Southern Fried. You probably do okay if you've never done it before. I'm lying. You do bad, right?
it get dark in
Yes.
Southern
You
Fried.
do bad.
Yes.
And then you be like, but no matter how bad you do at Southern Fried, you're going to be like, we're doing this again next year.
Yeah.
And then your team's going to get better and get better. Oh, wait, I just talked about the Verb Benders. That's how the Verb Benders started. Promotion.
Yes.
The Verb Benders literally started like that with a poet that wanted to do slam poetry,
Yep.
Shania Lady S. and Wesley Fraser Keys.
Shout out to the OGs.
Shout out to the OGs. They started their team literally like that and got their community involved, and now they are the premier slam team, if you ask me, in the 757.
That's what it
So-
is. So I mean, and that's the other thing. A lot of these slam teams, it's not like I think a lot of times slam, because of how far reaching it is, people think that, oh, these slam teams are like these, these big platforms. And of course you see like Right About Now or like some of these bigger platforms like Poetry Me Please or like Button Poetry. And it's like, oh, how do I get on those stages? And you think you got to go through all this rigmarole or whatever. Not exactly. You could literally create a team from the ether and be like, hey, we want to go to Southern Fried. You put the money up, pay the registration fees, and organize travel arrangements.
That's it.
And next thing you know, you're competing against Black Chakra. All right.
There are no skill gates.
Yeah.
To slam poetry.
Say that one more time.
There are no skill gates.
There we go.
Like there is no I'm not good enough to go to Southern Fried. Literally register and you can go to Southern Fried. Like there are invitationals aside from Southern Fried where they go for like poets that they deem some of the most talented poets. But as far as like regional competitions, register. If you jump in a register and you get there, then you make it. Like the reason those slams don't fill up sometimes is because honestly, it's just people scared to compete against the big dogs.
Come on.
And the big dogs will go ahead and apply, and then they'll be like, oh, why is it just 10 of the best poets in here? Well, because people found out about 4 and was like, I'm straight. But the main thing you want to do is get in there and do it anyways.
Yep.
All 3 of us are products of people that jumped into slams we probably shouldn't have been in.
Yep. And we keep doing it.
And keep doing it.
Can't stop.
And keep doing it.
I mean, like, food for thought, that was, a lot of people were asking me, they were like, oh, wow, how did you get into food for thought? They think that it's a whole big feat. I paid the $75.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's all I did.
All
I reached out to Roscoe and I said, hey, I won the wait list. When a spot opened up, I paid my $75. I was in food for thought.
That part.
It's not hard in that sense. Getting in isn't the hard part.
Nope.
It's preparing. It's the mental games you play with yourself. The amount of times it's like, oh, who's on the list? Oh my God, it's Ayanna Florence.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many times did I say that
It's
exact phrase?
It's like, whoa. It's like, whoa, who's on the list? It's Kenneth something. Oh, it's Lady Breon. Oh, wait, it's like,
Wait, now that one's
it's like, who's on this list?
That's too far.
It's like, is that F from Nehemiah? It's like, how am I gonna? It's like, oh, and people. I think the funny thing about slam poetry in general is that these people are just people.
Yeah.
They like, that's one thing I love about the community is like, you'll see someone get on stage and literally open up a portal to Doctor Strange dimension level stuff on stage, get off and just eat a slice of pizza.
Yep.
This is real.
Like, on some real stuff. Like, if you want to be a slam poet, just start slamming.
Just start doing it.
Just start doing it.
In your mirror.
And I mentioned, as, like, to kind of bring everything kind of full circle, I mentioned everything about, like, promotion and, like, getting outside trench work and stuff like that, because that's how a lot of slam poets got to the places they're at now. They just kept slamming. They just kept going to the slams, going to the open mics, just kept doing the thing, right? And got out there to where they started building community with people. And those people started to see, like, oh, this person is actually really good. Let me invite them to this thing. And then they get on that platform and they do what they do.
That part.
Kill it, right? Clearly they've been honing their craft. They get on stage and it's not like some nepotism stuff, because everybody at the top is actually good. Don't
It's a fact.
don't like
That's
anybody
true.
that tells you, I can say this straight up, anybody, slam is one of those one things where it's like no, people that are considered the elites, no, they're actually elite.
Yeah.
Like,
Once you graduate to like going by your first and last name, you're different.
Yeah.
like, facts.
Rudy Francisco.
That's a brand in
Ayanna
of itself.
Florence.
Like, that's all you gotta say.
Black Chakra.
First name Black, last name Chakra.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the regular people, like most poets, work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
They got bills. They
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
kids.
Some of them probably heard of you too.
And don't be surprised.
Yeah.
Because
Scares me every time.
It's a small world. All
It
right.
is.
I say all that to say. So a lot of these people, they're just regular people. But don't get it twisted. They can do the thing. All right. And so can you. Right. The last thing you want to do is get out to these slams and think nobody knows you, right? Especially if you've been doing this thing for a little bit and you're actually pretty good at it and you've been winning, you've been doing, word gets around fast, all right? Most of the slam poetry community is on Facebook.
Yeah. It's our toxic trait.
But like, even those, the worst part is I don't even be posting on Facebook.
You know
right?
why? Most of the slam communities on Facebook.
Talk about it.
No character limit.
No character. You can post poems.
We do be yapping.
We
No
listen.
character limit.
That's the other thing. Poets, we share poems, right? That's another way we build community, right? We share, say, hey, I got this poem idea. Let me spitball it, and you'll get like 30 comments of like, oh yeah, send it this way. That's how how people know each other. That's how people build community, right?
We do it in real life in the Chili's parking lot. We do.
It's what we do. So the thing is, like, when you're talking about promoting yourself and getting to the next level of doing poetry or anything poetry based or poetry centric, that's great. Get out there and do the work. Like, that's really it. And the work is really putting in effort to be intentional, to be present. Just because you don't win the slam doesn't mean your presence didn't matter, right? If you're there, you said it multiple times. If you're there to win the slam, you're probably going to leave disappointed, because the statistical chance of you winning any slam with more than one person.
Yeah, you got a 1 in 12 shot. You got a 1 in 12 shot to win the slam, to win the competition.
First place.
But the question is, what is winning to you? Is winning getting up there and doing your poems?
Come on.
Is winning doing 3 poems? Is winning getting this one poem that's kind of been stuck off your chest? Is winning getting up there and feeling like you were competitive? Or is winning being the highest scored poet? Either way it go, you can do any of those things. It just requires a certain level of work. If winning is doing 3 poems, all right, let's work on making sure you have a wide range of poems and making sure that you can respond to whatever you need to respond to, and you have 3 poems that are solid, right? Oh, you want to win the slam? Okay, that's about you. Now we need to make you a better slam poet. Oh, you want to get this poem off your chest? You can do that at the open mic. Why do you need to do it here?
Facts.
Right? And then now we're asking why. But when it comes to winning, it's like, understanding what that shit means, bro. It's funny because people always got this conception about me that I'm just addicted to winning, which, I mean, it's not winning, right? But like, I posted my record on Facebook. I'm 5 and 25 in 2024. 5 and 25, y'all. I've won 5 slams in the entire year and competed 30 times.
Most poets have losing records,
right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I go outside and I do the thing, and it's like redefining what winning is.
Come on.
And for me, winning is getting something from it. And to me, winning is only losing if somebody beats me. Not losing because I beat myself.
Come on.
And man, I hate slams when I beat myself. Those happened a while ago, but rent free in my head when I'm like, I literally I walked in ready to lose. You know what I'm saying? So I walk in every slam ready to win. But understanding what winning means to you, and understanding what that does for your own growth too, which is the topic of the thing, is just growing. And how a slam team helps you in that growth. Because as a team, sometimes our goal is top 10 or top 4, or maybe our goal is to show our new poet that she's really like that. She can go up there by herself and do a poem and score the highest score of the night.
Score high, yeah.
Right? That's a win. Regardless of how we place in that round. That's a win. And like, taking those wins and recognizing those wins, because it's so easy to find a loss. It's 1v30. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You know,
Facts.
It's easy to find an L. Oh, they dropped this poem in that round. Oh, we scored a 29.4. Oh, Never Lacking didn't do it. It was supposed to do. Like, we can find a loss in anything, but finding the dub and, hey, we did this poem clean. This poem is a new poem, and we went and made it happen. Our new poet got up there. We made our new poet feel so comfortable. They went up there and lost their mind and did an amazing job, right? Or we beat some high-ranking people, or we had perfect poem placement tonight. You know, all of these different things. Or even, I got 10 followers tonight.
Hey, promotion.
Right? That's how we get booked. We get booked off of that. That simple.
It really is that simple. Like, I think, especially like looping back to like the whole team aspect of like the development that you get when you're not just writing for yourself.
Right.
Yes.
It's so easy to just write for yourself and write for how you're feeling, which, okay, great. But it's another thing when you have to consider someone else's feelings, when you have to consider someone else's space, when you have to consider someone else's limitations, someone else's strengths, and your own weaknesses. Because sometimes we want to do everything as poets, and we can't do everything. Sometimes, like for me, I know I'm really high energy, but I can't be thrown on stage all the time because sometimes the room doesn't need a high energy poet, especially if we're looking for an indie, right? And it's like, oh, yeah, we need to let's throw up an indie or something like that. And Atlas is all his stuff is pretty high energy, is real punchy. We don't need a punch right now. We need somebody to suck the air out the room. pulse.
Yeah.
That part.
Like and sometimes it's adjusting like that because being on a slam team addresses your ego.
Facts.
It really addresses your work ethic. It addresses a lot of different things that you may not have paid attention to or even known that they were there. You know, like it's impossible to be a part of a successful slam team. Sadly, there's a lot of slam teams out there that they're not successful because of the attitudes or the things around the team.
Versus successful, they're not consistent.
They're not consistent, right? It's one if you want to be a part of a successful slam team or lead a successful slam team, you have to have work ethic and you have to have consideration for the fact that these poets are actually people, right? Because after you get on stage for 3 minutes and 10 seconds, after that, the other 23 plus hours of the day,
Your person.
you're a whole human being, right? I think the crazy thing about like leaving Southern Fried is that high you come down off of, because for about 3 to 4 days you're a superhero. You're one of my favorite cartoons, Justice League Unlimited. It's where all the superheroes in the DC universe are like in the Justice League. It was like a whole thing, and for about a week you're just a new superhero on the Watchtower for the first time. Superman's giving the speech, right? And you're a part of the Justice League. You're doing something great. The next day you're at your cubicle. The next day you're working a 9 to 5. The next day you're just another person that's just trying to make ends meet. That's another reason why community is so important, right? Because there's individual tournaments happening all year. Like you went to all of them. You went to all of them. You went to a few of them.
Yeah, that's true.
So like that's the other things. That's why we say get outside, do the thing. Because if it's like we say it's like a big Southern Fried, for example, is like a big family reunion, and it's like if the only time you see family is during the family reunion, do you really know them? So, but yeah, man, like get out there, promote, hone your craft.
Facts.
Yep.
Hone your craft. Talent will get your name into the room, but the thing that opens the door is connections. The things that opens the door is your work ethic. The things that opens the door is really a little bit of faith and luck sometimes. But imagine having the biggest door swing wide open for you. You don't have shoes big enough to fill the room. You know, that's a shame. Don't be that person. All right, don't do that. Get out there, put your work out. Put your work out. Yes, put your work out. Work out.
Work out.
As in, get your weight up.
Yeah.
Get in the gym.
Yeah.
Get in the trenches. Put that work in.
If you're on a team, you probably physically need to get in the gym. It's
Actually,
some tough work.
It's tough work. It's tough work. And I'm like...
There were times I was out there in my exercise clothes, like over the G's dining room table, like...
and because especially when you get to that level, it's not about you. It's not about what you want. It's not about how you feel all the
Move as
time.
one now.
We move as a unit. So, yeah, man. I say this to encourage all the poets and all those potential poets that are watching this podcast that pay attention to Slam Connection. Whether you want to slam with us or you slam wherever, like, listen, you can do this. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't, even if that person is you. All right? And there's more than enough opportunities. All right, I'm going to stop yapping.
We're good.
I think we're good. Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in. This pizza, I'm going to take this last piece.
Go for it. It's all yours.
I know you guys were wondering who was going to take the last
That one's for the
slice.
viewers.
Yeah,
Listen,
it was him.
Yeah.
it was me.
I'm full.
All right, love y'all. Save money, live better. I'm not going to say that because we're not.
We're not doing any brands.
We're not doing any brands. I'm
Save
not
money,
trying to
live better.